I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. We're in the Digital Signage Pavilion on the Digital Signage stage. We are the official live coverage of the Digital Signage Pavilion here at InfoComm 2015 on BeTerrific, BeTerrific.com. Join the conversation. Join us all in our chat room, BeTerrific.com/Slack. You can join us and the other Terrifics. You are one of the Terrifics, and you make BeTerrific special. So join us, BeTerrific.com/Slack. Enter your name and your email address. We'll send you an invite. We'll keep the conversation going 24 hours a day. But while we're on air, we can read your comments and your questions, and maybe some of them will make it on air. And again, you can communicate with the other Terrifics on social media at BeTerrific TV across all social media platforms. And of course, you can do the old-fashioned thing and email us, connect@beterrific.com. We love hearing from you, and we love the feedback. Keep it coming. You guys are amazing. You're the Terrifics, and we had record number of you guys yesterday. It was unbelievable. We're showing the world together that positive content is something that people want, so thank you very much. It's amazing here at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. This is the theme park. We've got all this eye candy around, digital signage, all sorts of gadgets and gear. It's unbelievable. Making this broadcast happen is a very special device from a company called NewTek. It is the Tricaster 8000. That's the flagship device. We use the Tricaster Mini a lot, and of course there's the 860 and the 460 and all sorts of great Tricaster products, but the Tricaster is basically a production truck in a small box. It does everything, graphics, audio, switching video sources, and a whole lot more. I've got Ellen from NewTek here. We talked about TalkShow yesterday, which is a very amazing Skype box that allows us to really get rid of the satellite uplink and downlink for television broadcasts, and of course it works great for corporate communications and a whole lot more. We were able to Skype in some guests that couldn't make it to InfoComm but were very important for our audience, and now we're talking Tricaster, which is your flagship product and is the most amazing product. We use it all the time and love it. And thank you again for supporting this live stream and for supporting us here at InfoComm.
We're really happy to do that, Michael, and it's great to be here. Thanks.
You guys are an amazing company. You've been around a long time. You started out with video toasters. That's really the genesis of the Tricaster. I remember seeing this video toaster in like 1993. And I was around video walls a lot, and my father did video walls. So I went to a lot of jobs, and it'd be at trade shows and all this stuff, the infancy of that. And I went to this job at a church, believe it or not. I don't even remember. It was somewhere in the middle of New Jersey. It took forever to get there. It was a Saturday night. I was a young kid, and this is how I was spending my Saturday. And I spent the whole night with the guy with the NewTek video toaster, learning it, seeing it, thinking it was amazing, and wanting one. And you know, unfortunately I didn't get one, but it kind of was the first time I was introduced to NewTek and was the most exciting thing, and I remember it to this day.
Well, you know, we've come a long way since then because now we have everybody has the ability to be broadcasting that kind of video over the internet. So it's really beyond just taking all these creative tools and putting them into one solution that people can access. You now actually have a whole channel at your disposal, you know, over HD through the internet. So a lot of people are using the Tricaster to put together those creative visions and stream them live or send them to, you know, through closed circuit to digital signage, or, you know, in the case of enterprise customers, you know, do webcasts and do marketing videos and do training videos and HR videos and all kinds of different productions.
I think what's so great about the Tricaster is you do all sorts of great things. Virtual sets, you now can encode the stream and stream it from the Tricaster, and you can also publish to FTP, your YouTube page, social media, and all sorts of other publishing points. And you guys are really thought leaders. You're visionaries. You think about what the next step would be, what the next thing would be. What's really cool is we can record this broadcast 18 different ways to different drives, but we can automatically upload it to our YouTube page or to an FTP or to Facebook. As soon as it's done, it can start doing that process, and all we have to do is put in our credentials and tell it where we want it to go. And that's such a visionary thing.
Well, it's really about removing the limitations. What is it that you want to create, and where are those sources? Well, Tricaster lets you reach any source, whether it's stored on the system itself, a video clip, graphics, titles, things like that, or if it's an IP source, you know, if it's a streaming source or a web camera, PTZ cameras, anything that you can find and reach out on the on your network, you can make that into a source for your production as well. In addition to live camera switching.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing, and that's where it starts, right? That's the roots, is live camera switching, and you can also do a live camera switching that you just record with, and then not have to do post-production, which it makes it more efficient and saves a lot of time. I think we have a clip to run, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but Adam, do we have the clip ready? Okay, so this is the clip, and are we talking over this one?
Yeah, so it's really just you know, taking a look at the system itself, where you can, you know, as you were saying earlier, it's all of the production capabilities that used to be available only to broadcasters with really big budgets, and now it's something that people can fit, you know, on the desktop or into a rack, a mobile unit, a flight case, and have those controls at their fingertips. A lot of customers use it in a sort of like a broadcast fashion where they're creating a television show, but they don't have to do that. They can just, you know, connect it with some AV sources. We have the Tricaster Mini that just uses HDMI, so you have cameras, prosumer cameras that you can get. But then you have, you know, the Tricaster 8000, which you're using, where you have professional connections. You have SDI, HD video coming in. You have the ability to record all the cameras onto the drives that are in the system itself. And you can do all these kinds of different production components once you have it.
I think, here's the Tricaster 8000, and I think now we're going to see the 860, or we just saw a shot of it. It's really amazing. We're using it here. It can be a mobile unit as well, the 8000, but the Mini is the very mobile one. So I have this vision, I have this idea where a crew, where the 8000 can be the one you use in the studio, the Mini can be the one that you take out into the field, right? And so let's say for like journalism or even video production, like I said, you don't want to have to do a lot of post-production or quick turnaround. You quickly drop the Mini down, you plug in a couple of cameras, you do a whole interview, cut between the, you know, people talking, cut to a couple of B-roll shots that you loaded into the Tricaster Mini. You're completely done when you leave, and you can bring that back to the Tricaster 8000, or you can literally hand the client the finished product right there on location. That's pretty amazing. And of course, the Tricaster Mini all the way up through the line, they all stream, they all do the same, pretty much the same stuff. It's just how much more do you need to add to it and want to add to it. But the interface is the same, so it's all familiar. There's also Tricaster Advanced now, which gives you a whole slew of other features and is available for all the Tricaster lines.
Yeah, that Tricaster Advanced Edition really does add so much more without having to add any more equipment, and particularly for a lot of our enterprise customers, it's going to mean things like being able to create a web interface to your Tricaster, so you can simplify what are the tasks that you need to do and put that into a browser. So someone using any kind of device that can open a web browser can run a Tricaster.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's really amazing. We're Tricaster users. We use the Tricaster every day for our live show and for all our live events. We use a Tricaster Mini and love it. We'd love to get a Tricaster 8000 of our very own to have in studio and to work in that workflow I explained, but it's so robust, and that's why we like it so much. But what I wanted to say is there's another Tricaster user. His name is Dave Ross. He's from EMC. EMC is an amazing storage and shared storage company. Basically, they're for post-production. You want to have, you know, share your storage and be able to edit between people. You want EMC. And so he's joining us via Skype, via our talk show. We're showing off talk show and Tricaster at the same time, but we're doing this because Dave couldn't make it here, but we wanted to talk to him about the Tricaster and how they use it.
Yes, that would be actually great. That, you know, EMC's right on the very cutting edge of business television and what you can do with the Tricaster.
Yeah. So Dave, thanks for joining us.
Hey, great to be here, Michael.
Tell me about how you guys use the Tricaster.
Sure. So we really use the Tricaster to address all of our communication needs for EMC Marketing Group, both internally and externally, using video. So everything from executive programs. We have many executives that have their own TV shows at EMC, as well as we do quite a few live events throughout the world using the Tricaster every year.
How easy do you find the Tricaster use? Because I believe that with about 15 minutes of training, just about anybody can use the Tricaster as long as they can boot up a normal computer and, as Ellen said, use a web browser.
Yeah, absolutely. Ease of use is one of the great features that we love about the Tricaster. We have an operator that's been using the NewTek products, including the video toaster, as you mentioned, going back 20-something years. So he loves the Tricaster, and he's our main driver of all the new technology, pushing us forward on the products. But one of the things we do love about it is the fact that we can be up and running so quickly, especially during a live event.
And it's so flexible, I find, that the thing is you can start with the most basic, and the most basic is plugging in your sources and going camera 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8 with the 8000, and literally to switch, all you have to do is hit 1 or 2 or 8 or 4 or 3, and it's as basic as that. You can start there, so if you really needed to, that's where your training starts. And then you can add graphics and you can do all these other things, but you don't have to do any of that. You can start right there with that and hitting record, or that and hitting stream. It's that simple.
Absolutely, and we found that the upload curve there with upgrading the Tricasters, what we've done over the years, starting with a more basic model that we use for virtual sets, and now we're at a model, the 855, where we can do, we have 8 cameras coming into it. We do a ton of graphics in our live show. We're doing live shows that I think they're rival any other shows.
I think it would be really interesting for the people watching to know what kind of shows you're doing, Dave. What kind of groups in the organization need video done, and what kind of shows you're doing.
Absolutely. So we address the video needs for the whole company, whether it's HR or marketing or engineering. We're a part, EMC TV is a part of the marketing organization. So our larger shows are centered around our larger marketing events like EMC World, our user conference in Las Vegas every year. I guess about viewers on NewTek.
So we've got one of our viewers, Ben Rathig, and he's in our Slack chat, and Ben wants to know, you guys have, I guess, a couple of different Tricasters. Do you have a favorite, and what are the purposes of the different ones for you guys?
Sure. So I think the favorite, my Glenn DiTomaso, my technician, will tell you, the favorite is always the next one, right? The next model they're getting. So the 8000 would be his favorite. Right now, our centerpiece of our studio in Southborough, Massachusetts, is the 855, and that's the one that we do primary our studio shows. We have a new studio there, so we do a lot of our executive shows.
JT Hockey wanted to know what your favorite feature on the Tricaster is in general.
Yeah, I would say the multi-record option is one of the key ones that we use. So all the ISO recordings that we can do right in the Tricaster, because we use so many cameras for our different live events, the ability to record multiple camera angles in the Tricaster gives us a lot of flexibility in post.
And have you guys used, I just talked about a workflow where you could use the Tricaster Mini to do an interview or something in a corporate situation and turn it around real quick without having to do post-production, without having to pay a lot of money for post-production. It makes it more efficient, makes it quicker. Have you guys ever used it in that setting where you just kind of bring it into a conference room, set up a backdrop, and do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. We turn things on the spot daily using the Tricaster in our new studio. So whether it's an executive programming or a quick product announcement, we can turn it around, get it out the door within an hour.
And have you guys used virtual sets? Do you do that? We got JT Hockey wanted to know that.
Yes, absolutely. So one of our big events every year is our sales kickoff. You can imagine a company the size of EMC has a huge sales force, upwards of 10,000 people. So we actually do a user conference that saved EMC millions of dollars over the years. The return on investment is incredible with this. By using virtual sets, instead of bringing all the sales leadership and the sales people from around the world to Boston for a user conference, now we do it using a virtual set to get all their product announcements. So,
I think I think that's awesome, and I think, Ellen, what is so fascinating is, I have not played with virtual sets in about 6 years, up until about a week ago. And I say this all the time, like, you guys do I used to say, you guys do a great job, that's really great, but virtual sets aren't for me. I can't stand green screens. I don't like virtual sets. They just never look real. And I literally hadn't played with them in like 5 or 6 years. And I was reading the Tricaster manual the other day, and I went, we should just play with this, see what it looks like. Or, we're coming here, we should be able to talk to it, right? And I was blown away, and I was like, we should use these, and Adam, come here, look at this. And we were blown away. Number one, they look amazing. No edging, they're perfect. And I was talking to Rex the other day a little bit about this. I think it's the magic. It's because you don't try to fill the whole screen and key out the whole screen around me. You put me in the part that I just need to be in and key that part out. And so that's number one. Number two, you build great virtual sets. And so I was just blown away by this and said, we should really use this, especially as we start doing more shows. We're going to be doing some video gaming shows. I don't know if the New York City backdrop of our studio is appropriate for everything. We could change it up a little. And so I'm very picky, and I don't want to use virtual sets usually. This was great. No edging, looks great, looks realistic, and that's what I want out of a virtual set. You guys do a great job with it.
It's we have some really, very pristine video quality, visual quality that goes into those, but also, a really great algorithm for keying out what's not needed in the scene itself. But one of the beauties of the virtual sets is whatever does work for you, you can customize that for yourself and bring your own brand elements into it, or even create your own with Virtual Set Editor. So it's so flexible. The stock ones that come with it are amazing, but you can even take it further and do whatever kind of design you need, just like you would do with a physical set design.
It really is amazing, and I think, to me, making my own virtual set, that's a little too much for me to do, but you have some great sets in there. I think you have set packs as well, but the thing is, it's always easy to do, and the green screening is easy to do. Have you found that to be the case, Dave, or do you guys build your own, and you found that it's easy to use? Because I find most keyers are terrible and hard to use. This is easy and works great.
Absolutely. We use the virtual set editor all the time for our virtual set. We also do have a vendor that I think is actually based in Orlando that does some custom sets for us. When the situation does require, if somebody says, no, we want something specific for a particular event or particular show, he whips them up using virtual set editor in his own studio there, and creates some custom ones for us too.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it. Unbelievable. Dave Ross from EMC, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your Tricaster experience with us. We also think Tricaster is amazing.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here, Michael.
Thank you. So that's Ellen from NewTek. They make the Tricaster, the talk show, the 3Play. Tomorrow, later in the day, we're going to have you on to talk about the 3Play. It's a very robust video replay system. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting this. NewTek is truly an amazing company, and the people, the team, are great. Steve, and of course Scott and Rex, they're all amazing. We were honored to have Rex on yesterday. What a great interview. You got to catch the archive of that if you missed it. By the way, we got to take a quick break, but you're asking me a lot in the chat room. This is a Flip My Tie. Everybody's saying, what's that tie? They like it a lot. It's pretty cool. You can flip it over and reverse it. So check it out, flipmytie.com. I guess if you're asking, I'll give them a nice little plug. We'll be back with a whole lot more here from your live continuing coverage from InfoComm 2015 from the Digital Signage Pavilion on the Digital Signage stage in Orlando, Florida on BeTerrific, the official coverage. I'm Michael Artis. Don't go anywhere. You're the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special. We'll be back right after this.